kind of start with early influences, which were kitchen sink films, realism films. When I was 14, I was a mod, and this was in the very early 80s, and I was obsessed with anything that was from the 60s because, you know, it had been something that I'd been a toddler and I didn't really fully know or understand the 60s, and so anything that looked like the 60s, especially it looked like my background, was very appealing. So things like Saturday Night, Sunday Morning, A Taste of Honey, all those films. And then when I started looking at books, photographic books, I looked at a few different photographers who seemed to be kind of doing a similar sort of thing. Like there was Shirley Baker, who was taking pictures of children in Salford in the same kind of streets where I'd grown up. A guy called Joseph Mackenzie. These were all like great documentary photographers from the sort of 40s, 50s and 60s. And so I kind of looked at these books and thought, yeah, this is me, this is my world, this is where I grew up. These guys are taking therefore pictures of things that, you know, represented me growing up were important, you know. So I then went on to look at people like Chris Killip, Daniel Meadows, Martin Parr, Graham Smith. All these guys were doing very working class culture, very real, very unguarded moments, and that appealed to me because it was my background. And when I kind of hit Bury Camera Club, there was a great guy there who was kind of between jobs. He was a lecturer, and he said to me, "Oh, I like your pictures of your scooter mates. You know, your black and white pictures are great. Have you seen Chris Killip's work?" And I was like, "No, I don't know who Chris Killip is." So he got this book that had very recently been published, and he showed it me, called In Flagrante, which was pictures of Chris Killip, like big 10 by 8 images of the northeast. And I was just blown away by not just the kind of subject matter, but the clarity of the images and the kind of consistent vision that I saw. So I started looking at William Eggleston, Jeff Wall, he's Canadian, but Philip Locker-DeCorsia, Mitch Epstein, Nan Golding, who were all working in colour and doing very different things, you know, but at the same time they all had this kind of real feel of quality to them, and a strong vision in every image. You could tell it was their stuff. So that was my influence. And then I kind of started getting involved in fashion because I was working at a college where they taught fashion. I was like a sort of technician demonstrator, and one of the fashion lecturers came up to me and said, "You're really good, we should do some pictures together." And I was thinking, what's he want to do with it? Like, does he want to model for me? He was a bit fat and, you know, not very photogenic. And so I said, "What do you want me to do with you?" And he went, "Well, I'll style it." And I was thinking, what does that mean? So then he brought some students' work over, and it's like, oh right, he dresses them, and I take the pictures, and we come up with an idea. So we did loads of tests together. This guy was fantastic, very driven, very passionate, and that was my start, in a way, of not just taking what was going on, but actually putting things in front of the camera and going, right, this is how it's going to be. You're going to run, or you're going to walk, or you're going to put your arm up. Suddenly I was controlling the image rather than, you know, just finding an image and shooting it. And I think that was a massive sort of learning curve, because I realised that I could kind of bring this influence of social documentary to this world of fashion, and suddenly I had something quite unique going on.